Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to United View. Good morning. Welcome to another morning view. It's not a Flex's View live, but it basically is. It's a morning view slash Flex's View. We got a lot to talk about. My head is still spinning after yesterday's news about Dan Ashworth. And actually, in the interest of talking about things properly, because yesterday was my instant reaction about how I felt to the news, it's important now that we dissect this thing all together. It's important that we break this thing down and work out, is this a good thing for the club? Is this a bad thing for the club? Is this a good decision? Is this a bad decision? What does this mean? What does it mean for Real Madrid? What does it mean for our feelings and thoughts? There's a lot to unpack. And actually, we have more information to go off now, as is always with this type of situation. You get the immediate reaction, which we all have, and then you get reports being written, then you get media briefs, then you get, people trying to remain anonymous to keep their jobs, but they're saying stuff. And sometimes you get club statements, which we haven't had anything proper from Man United to explain this as well. But I'm going to be talking about all of that, the fallout of Dan Ashworth and Sir Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS, what's gone on there. There's some quotes from Ahmad as well, talking about his relationship with Ruben Amorim. We'll discover that later on in the show as well. So loads to get through, because I'm telling you, no, Imran says, "Oh no, Flex sack Owen too." Yeah, I'm on my INEOS vibe. Everyone can get it. No. He's just not here this morning. That's all good. Owen is not sacked. Don't worry. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm still very uneasy about this. And you guys know me. Sometimes, it might spike up with a little bit of emotion. Yeah, we all do that. And then I talk about all of it. But there's some bits that I can understand now, but I still think there's a wider conversation. There's a bigger conversation to look at with what's gone on here, because let's be honest, it's a mess. In my opinion, right now, this doesn't breed confidence. This doesn't breed calm, does it? It adds to the chaos that is Manchester United when INEOS were tasked with undoing that. And I know it's not going to happen overnight, and I've been willing to be really, really patient, and I've given INEOS a lot of praise. But I feel like this decision this early will do the reverse effect. And some people can argue that that's fine in business. At the beginning, you make some bad decisions, it happens. But we have to talk about how it makes us feel now, and of course the long-term future and short to mid-term as well. I want to do it all, not just look at one side of what happened yesterday, what we woke up to. Let's do the housekeeping though. Let me know who's watching, where from, how you guys are doing. We've got nearly 600 through the door already in the first few minutes, so I know it's going to be a big show. We've got 70 likes, so let's get the first 100 in there. Shout out to Tabrez, of course. My guy says, big up Flex. Shallow Boy Comics, I see you in there. Daniel Luciano says, 32 away from 100 likes. Big up to you. Love from Mana says, Yolum99. Sunny Manchester says, Tabs. Australia's in the house, says from Imma. Who else have we got here? We've got smash the like button from Starlord. Big up to you, Starlord, as usual. Haven't seen no Yo-Yo yet, but he'll be there some point. Nuruddin Idris says, good morning, Flex. I'm watching from Nigeria. Shout out to the Nigerian gang inside the place. Chalaboy Comics is there. Send the first cracker is there. And TS says, Thomas from Melbourne, Australia. So you lot are locked in from everywhere. Then there's Greg Frost from Barnsley. From Australia to Barnsley. That's the scope what we're dealing with here, guys. That's the scope that we're dealing with. And King's Yeezy says, sacking Ashworth is a blessing in disguise. All right, cool. Let's get into this, guys. Let's get into that. I've got a lot of quotes that I want to go through as well, because there's been a big piece written by Laurie Whitwell as well. Firstly, I'm gonna just what we now has come to light is that Sir Jim has basically fallen out with Dan Ashworth and hasn't been impressed with some of his decision making, or lack of. A lot surrounding when we sacked Eric Ten Hag, when we stayed with Eric Ten Hag, sorry, and they had the meeting that was basically trying to ascertain who the next bunch of candidates should be. Dan Ashworth basically didn't, I think, raise alarm bells then. Let's go through some of the timeline. Laurie Whitwell and Adam Crafton did a massively informative piece on the Athletic. Make sure you guys check that out. He said, and between them, they said, Dan Ashworth did not provide clear, compelling arguments for who to bring in. His list of managers included Eddie Howe, Marco Silva, Thomas Frank, and Graham Potter as a potential interim. So we know that he wanted somebody with Premier League experience. He also, I think, on the record was one of the people who was favouring Gareth Southgate. And at the time when Ten Hag was on thin ice, you know, we all heard about the Gareth Southgate rumours and reports, and we was all against them. And it appears that Dan Ashworth was the one driving that. And to shout out to a lot of the big accounts and sort of people who got some inside knowledge. Shout out United Menace as well, because I remember when he was sort of saying, "Listen, INEOS, there's people in INEOS or INEOS, etc., or the decision makers who like Gareth Southgate," and he got shot down for that. You know, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. It would never be him. It just shows that was true. So I want to say that. But on that, I have to say, and I even tweeted straight after, even in my rage, that if you wanted Gareth Southgate to be the next manager of Man United, sackable offence. Sackable offence. Sackable offence. That is alarm bells. That you deserve to be sacked just for that. If you're suggesting that Gareth Southgate should have been the next Man United manager instead of looking at like someone like Ruben Amorim, then you know what I mean, sacked on the spot. So that's the first bit that I do agree with. Ashworth was said to have had little input on selecting Amorim as United's new head coach, with Barada a major influence on the Portuguese getting the job. So it sounds to me in this period where we've gone from Eric to Amorim and there was a little bit of discourse of who the next manager is going to be, it sounds to me like they've looked at Dan Ashworth's recommendations and gone, dead. Nah, mate, what are you talking about? And then Omar Barada is the one who, you know, led the chase and led the negotiations in getting Ruben Amorim in. And it says it was Barada who flew to Lisbon when Ten Hag was sacked to negotiate with Sporting president to have face-to-face talks. Also, this is an interesting claim in the piece that the Athletic done. Ratcliffe felt Ashworth should have been much more assertive in targeting a new head coach and should have looked beyond those people he already knew. So he's basically saying you're just going to your mates, you're just going to people that you know, not necessarily people that are most qualified or people that are most inspiring. He also said to have raised eyebrows at Ashworth taking a holiday on Amorim's second day at Carrington. So you can see there's certain things creeping in now. Now, I'm not gonna say I know the reason, whether that was a scheduled holiday, whether there was a family thing that he had to attend. You know, these are people's private lives now. This is where it gets a bit techie, and that's just one bit of the quote. There was one bit inside the whole thing. Ashworth, that he basically, it suggested that the importance of that holiday, there was something personal behind it. There you go. He was also said to have raised out, because I've got the actual, I've got some of the quotes and the snippets, and I got the whole article up. He says he was also said to have raised eyebrows at Ashworth, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, taking a holiday on Amorim's second day at Carrington. Now, this is what it does go and say for a bit more context, though, because context is very important. There were mitigating circumstances, with Ashworth marking a significant family event, having postponed previous attempts for work reasons. His absence around the same time from November's executive committee meeting was, however, seen by some as a further indication all was not well. Ashworth had attended the Exco Summit in October at INEOS headquarters in London, as well as the previous one in Barcelona. So, look, he took a day off, right, on Amorim's second day at Carrington. However, they do provide context to this. The quote that we've got on socials, it doesn't say all of this. There were mitigating circumstances, with Ashworth marking a significant family event, having postponed previous attempts for work reasons. So in his defense, in this particular issue, he's put off whatever significant family event it was for work quite a few times before that, and finally found this one, and it just happened to be Ruben's day. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not getting involved in that. That's not really what my gripe is. There's some other quotes here. Friction was also apparent when Ashworth proposed this is the one I think that doesn't look good for him. Friction was also apparent when Ashworth proposed bringing in a data company to evaluate the candidates to replace Ten Hag. Ratcliffe was said to have reacted badly, countering that it was Ashworth's job to know such matters rather than outsource, while also making him question United's in-house capabilities. So again, these are things that are creeping up early on in Dan Ashworth's tenure, that are ringing alarm bells and raising red flags to the people who hired him. So on one hand, and this is where now I'm going to bring my opinion into this. Right. there you go. You know, and Omar Barada basically has moved very, very strong on this. Here's where I'm going to do more opinion. Let me know what you guys are saying, because this is so big, right? And I think adds, you know, more volatility to our situation and less calm than it needs to be. Let's get any super chats out. Ryan has become the latest member of the UV Members Club as well. Chelsea badge there. Chelsea fan. Big up to you. Great day for you, like yesterday even. Joe Fleming says, INEOS begging to look a little bit waste. Oh, sorry, beginning to look a little bit waste. We'll talk about that. And Hayata says, from Singapore here as well. Big up to you for living out there in Singapore, or you're out there in Singapore, Hayata. For me, you have to look at it like this, right? Or this is how I see it. Sir Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS earmarked Dan Ashworth as this guy. This guy. They tracked him for 5 months. They wouldn't pay the gardening leave. They wouldn't be held to ransom. All these things I supported, by the way, because I've given INEOS a lot of support, right? And they've basically waited 5 months, right, for this guy. Sir Jim Ratcliffe was doing up big BBC interviews and whoever else it was saying, you know, this is the guy we need. Fantastic director of football, you know, best in class, all of these things. Newcastle are being just stupid with the price. You know, they're being, what did you say? They're being silly. All words to that avail. Yeah. You then wait for the gardening leave after this hoo-ha. And we're saying, yeah, stand on business, Sir Jim. Don't pay them the big 10, 20 million that they're asking for. Give them 3 million and tell them move and go. Yeah. That's what we're on. Then he gets in, right? They proceed to keep Eric Ten Hag for whatever reason, whoever's, you know, decision it was. I know there's some that are saying that he wasn't really involved in that because he wasn't quite here yet. The decision to keep Eric, etc., etc. Fine, but that happened in and around their watch, yeah, in and around it, right? They then proceed to back Eric in the transfer market with the summer that we had. Okay, now that's a mixed one, because if we're being honest, at the time we said that the window wasn't actually that bad. The window wasn't getting Mazraoui and De Ligt for the price that we did was good business. We ended up waiting pretty much all summer to get Ugarte and brought the price down by about 8 million euros. So we saw that as good business. And now it looks like even better business because Amarim's here and that's his guy. We didn't know that at the time. Xerxes, at the time of us buying him before he kicked the ball, we went 34 million. Okay, we'll see what this kid's got. Doesn't look the best at the moment, but there you go. Who else did we buy in the summer? Is that it? Ugarte, Xerxes, and them two. Am I missing anyone? Anyway, and we're basically looking at our squad now and going, our squad doesn't look much closer. Sorry, and Yoro, by the way, which we did say looked like a really good window. So the window itself didn't look the worst, but now we're looking at it going, how much better have we got? Well, essentially, we bought those players under Eric Ten Hag, 200+ million, and then he left a little bit just after that. And then you go and sack Dan Ashworth now and have to pay him off when he spent longer on gardening leave than he did in the post. Now, whether it's the right decision because you've seen the red flags or not, and you're being ruthless, you fucked up. So, you know, I don't even want to swear. You messed up again. You messed up a big decision again. Wrong fleck. Too many fans overrating the transfer window. I said from day one, De Ligt, Ugarte, and Xerxes, average signings, says Show. Fair point. Fair point. Fair point, Show. Because when you look at the team and you look at the level, like say De Ligt, comfortable, competent, but not outstanding levels of where we need to get to. Ugarte, you need better than that, but can do a job for Amarim, you know. So I get what you're saying. But anyway, here's my thing. Some people are trying to pass this off as like ruthlessness from Sir Jim. Oh, what a ruthless, shrewd businessman standing on business. You know, basically realized that it's wrong and you got rid of him quick. That's one side of the coin. And I get that because you could basically prolong this and keep working with a guy that you definitely got the red flags and saying no. But essentially, right? Essentially, you also have to say it's poor recruitment. It's shit decision making. This is a guy who's supposed to be making us more efficient as a business, as a football club. But guess what? The long list of trail of things is happening and he can't beat the allegations. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. You're slashing 250 jobs in a cost-saving exercise, which again, you have to trim the business if it's bloated. I get that. Difficult decisions, but I get it. You've hyped up the season ticket prices. without consulting fans. Yes, it's only 3 to 4% of whatever, and you've likened it to saying, how can Fulham have more expensive tickets than we do? You know, and you do have to look at the climate that we're living in 2024. You do have to look at the geography involved in this. Fulham, you know, very affluent area in West London, Southwest London, very affluent area. Different set of cultures down there, different sorts of living you know, conditions there. Not saying that Manchester is an awful place to live, because it's not. But what I'm saying is the economic climate is different in both. But he's basically saying, how can Fulham have more than us, more high prices than us? Yeah. Then you're getting rid of Sir Alex. You're getting rid of Sir Alex, right? Dylan, you can say I'm waffling, but these are the facts, bro. These are the facts. If these ain't facts, then you put in the comments what are the facts of what Sir Jim Ratcliffe has done since he's come here. I'm giving you the facts of the decisions that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has made. I don't know how it's waffling. It's facts, bro. If you can't deal with the facts, then I can't help you. Right? You've got rid of Sir Alex. Again, cost saving. A little spike in reaction, but in the end you go, all right, cool, we can't afford to do this, you can't afford to do that. That's the other thing. The fifth thing is you then proceed to sack Erik ten Hag after allowing him to stay here and have to pay him off the best part of what? 15 million pounds, 16 million pounds, whatever it is. Yeah. That's the fifth thing. The sixth thing you've now done, yeah, is gone and sacked this guy. Yeah. Sorry. Then you've brought in Ruben Amorim, yeah, and had to pay off whatever it is we had to pay for him in this cost-saving exercise to undo the bad decision of letting Erik ten Hag stay here. And then a few weeks into Amorim's reign here, you've sacked one of the main decision makers, or one of the guys who got one of the biggest roles in changing around this football club. That's 7 things, bro. That's 7 things since you got ratified in February. So no, I don't see this as, oh, fantastic from Sir Jim Ratcliffe, really great execution of decisions, really good talent identification, really ruthless. No, I seen it as you're making up for your own mistakes. And I said, when we sacked Erik ten Hag, I said it on the show. Yeah, 7 things deep, bro. Shout out SLD. 7 things deep. Shout out KG. That's what it is. 7 things deep. And guess what? I remember being on the Trinity and red carpet and all these different things, right? Different shows we were on. And I said, hang on a minute. Yes, Erik ten Hag needed to go. And I put my hands up and said, I don't think he should have stayed from the summer when I think he did. But if we look at it from INEOS, this is their first major L. This is it, because they decided to keep him. They decided to keep him, right, and move on with him, and then realized that it was an absolute shit show and had to sack him anyway. So, yes, they've been ruthless and decided to nip it in the bud now, which you can give a little bit of praise to. But at the end of the day, this is supposed to be a cost-saving exercise, and they're costing us more money. They're costing us more money. So, yes, Dan Ashworth should have got sacked because you wanted Gareth Southgate on one thing. Yes, if you see red flags early on in someone's tenure, cut the ties and be ruthless. Step in and basically say, you know, I don't want. What do you mean you want Gareth Southgate? What do you mean you want Eddie Howe? What do you mean you want Thomas Frank? No, we're going to go and get an inspiring coach who we think is the next best thing. So you know what? Forget you. I get that, and they've jumped in and got rid of him. But essentially, it screams of incompetence, guys. I don't know how we're missing that. And in the interest of listening, it's all about opinions. You don't know. I understand all opinions, so I get why we're maybe focusing more on. Well, it shows ruthlessness. You know, early on in the reign, you know, you basically early on in the reign, you can see things wrong and you get rid of people. Or you say, you look at the window that we had, that was rubbish, get rid. I get that. But at the end of the day, guys, this is the guy who told us no, let me rephrase that. This is the guy who's come in and is trying to get us fans on side and trying to get us fans to get confidence in their decisions. Now, we gave a lot of praise about, 50 million odd straight into Carrington. That's a W. You know what I'm saying? I'm not being unfair here. I'll talk about the other facts. Getting a footballing structure straight away and ripping out the old one really quickly. W, Getting individuals who have experience. I know Dan Ashworth has turned out to be an L, but, even doing all that, is a W, making difficult decisions that the fans might not like, but it's for the best interest of the club, W. But in the end, when you're saying that you're making decisions to stay with a manager, you know, which would have cost a lot of money. Then you sacked him a few months after when you should have done it in the summer. You got to take the L. You got to take the L because you're counteracting your argument. Guys, think about it. I want us to save money, yeah, and be more efficient. So I'm going to make this decision. But then the decision I end up making ends up costing us more. And I've done that twice now. Do you know what I mean? David Close says, Flex, read The Athletic. I did. I've read the whole thing, bro. It says Ashworth didn't want Amarin. He wanted Frank and Potter. If those did not send alarm bells, nothing will. I get that. And I've literally just gone through that, David. You probably missed that as about I'm coming in. But I'm not saying, can I say this? I'm not saying Dan Ashworth decided to stay, but I deserve to stay. I don't want people to mix up what I'm saying here. Because when I have read the information as to why he's been sacked, look, it's very early, but I agree. Like if your answer to our problems was bringing in Southgate, then you're clueless. I agree with that. And also when Sir Jim, the quote comes out basically saying, or the information that's printed by Laurie and Adams that says basically he wasn't impressed that he brought in sort of a data analyst, I think, to run numbers, and he felt that he should have known more for his job. These are things, it's your job. You're supposed to know that. So I'm not saying that this is a disgraceful decision because Dan Ashworth is brilliant and knows exactly what he's doing and we're letting go of one of the best. Why would we do this? I'm not doing that. This isn't that. I'm basically saying they look stupid. They look stupid because for all what we're saying, because are we just ignoring the fact that Sir Jim Ratcliffe co-signed this guy? He put his name all round this guy. They wanted him. They waited for him. They paid the right money, excuse me, for him. So, yes, you can praise him for realizing it was wrong fairly early and getting rid of him. That is ruthless. I get that. Fair play, tick. But we're completely ignoring, or I feel like people who are only focusing on the fact that he got rid of him because of Southgate, which is a good thing. We're completely forgetting the fact that we based our whole strategy off of having this guy involved. So why are we buying that shit? Why are we accepting that or not calling that out? Why are we not calling out the fact that, hold on a minute, these guys told us he was the savior 5 months ago, and 5 months ago they're just going, nah. They told us Eric Ten Hag was going to be the right guy, and a few months later they got rid of him in a cost-saving exercise when they can't afford to give Sir Alex a couple £1 million a year, but they kept Eric Ten Hag on and ended up paying him 15 million, and then another 5 to 8 million or whatever it was to get Ruben Amorim out. No wonder why the rivals laugh at us. We're trying to convince ourselves at points that the club's getting more settled. I don't know how this makes you guys feel. This does not make me feel as a fan that the club is more settled. That's my argument. That's my argument. Flex chill. They made a mistake and now they're owning it. Joe says, Droski, I get that, bro. I get that. I feel, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me, guys. I need a drink. Maybe it's just me. Let me know. Let me know, guys. And this is what's brilliant about this, yeah. Where do you guys sit on the side of incompetency shown versus ruthlessness and efficiency? Because I don't know. I feel like most of you are saying that I'm making a bigger deal on this. Yeah, let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. I don't even. It's so difficult to even ask the right question because I think asking is this the right decision, yes or no, is too easy. Because, like I said, if there's red flags from Dan Ashworth, I get why they've moved on. Is this? I think the question is this incompetent? TT says you're crying too much, Flex. For F's sake, calm down. Okay, all right. What should the question be, guys? What give me, because I don't want to lace the question with my bias. I don't want to do that because that's not fair. I want to put a fair poll up to see how you guys are actually feeling in this chat. Because obviously everyone's writing in. Obviously some people are going to troll just to be silly. A lot of you will have an opinion one way or the other, and it's hard to quantify this. So I want to there's a bit of overreaction, to be honest, as M-Dub. Are INEOS good for the club? Yes or no? It's pure incompetence. Question is, am I overreacting? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, we'll go with that. Because I want you lot to think am I overreacting. But I can see by the chat, you lot are basically saying yes. Am I overreacting? And I wasn't even typing. Am I overreacting? Because I don't feel I am. I really don't feel I am. If if I'm honest, I don't feel like I'm overreacting. Question mark. Should that even be the question? Should that be the question? Yes or no? There you go. Am I overreacting? Yes or no? I feel like you're all going to say yes, but I'll stand on it. Fair enough. Fair enough. A lot of you saying in there. I just don't know how we're looking past. You can't. Are we just not? Are we just going to ignore the fact that basically we're gonna just ignore that they waited for ages for Dan Ashworth, big gardening leave, to have him in less than the gardening leave that he had, and sacked him. They based one of our biggest principles and infrastructures off of this guy, and now we're no closer to knowing who it is. But they've sacked him on top of keeping Eric Ten Hag longer than they needed to. That cost us money. Like, that hurts the club, guys. Like, I don't get this. I don't get this. Ton of super chats in here as well. Maka says, any other job you get sacked if not performing. I really don't get the issue. If anything, INEOS are taking no shit and want to move quickly as possible. Sanjit said, Brentford giving kids tickets at £10 for £10. They must not need the money like us. Agree with everything Flex is calling out INEOS for. So look, this shows where we are, guys. It's literally neck and neck. This is really split. This is so interesting to see how we all see this differently, peeps. Simolo Lula, Simolu Lua. Sorry if I've not pronounced your name properly there. I don't see a problem with bringing in a data team. What that means is Ashworth does not trust the in-house data team. I'm a Liverpool fan, and Edwards is famous for revolutionizing the data team in Liverpool. So there you go. So he's basically saying that wouldn't be a bad thing. That's something that Liverpool have done quite a lot. Is Sir Jim wrong for not letting Dan Ashworth bring in a data team to do that and look at what the numbers say and look at what the data says, rather than knowing himself? These are things we have to talk about. Silai says ruthlessness is the right way to success. Ray Carl Brown says big up Flex. Sir Jim must take an L for what is doing ticket prices, Ten Hag and Ashworth, big L's. And that's my point. That's my point. I think we're praising too much ruthlessness, but we're forgetting consecutive bad decisions. Like, we're forgetting the track record. Of course you can make mistakes. Of course. I'm not saying everything has to be perfect. When you start a new venture, a new business, a new idea in life, you can make mistakes. I'm not criticizing them because they made a mistake. A mistake. I'm not. I don't expect everyone to get things right. I even said it when they sacked Eric Ten Hag. I said, really, this is their first big L, but you know what? They've owned it fairly quickly. Probably took one it went on one international break longer than it should have, but they owned it and brought Amorim in really quickly. Okay, so I praise them for that. So I'm not being biased here. I praise them for that decision. But now, this is the track record in a short space of time. The track record in how many months? Come on, bro. But that's my point, Eddie. This is the track record since February. And they've got quite a few big things wrong, bro, since Feb. Do you know what I mean? What's that? 11 months. In 11 months, it's starting to rack up. That's all I'm saying. So in a small sample size, they're actually getting quite a bit wrong. And I think whilst I'm trying to gain confidence in this new football hierarchy and back them as a fan from Ed Woodward and Murto and Arnold and those, some of these decisions that they're making are Arnold-like, are Woodward-esque. They are. And I, for the love of God, cannot ignore that. For me, that's my red flag. You know, I'm not saying, I haven't ever said INEOS are the biggest frauds going, right? They won't have a positive impact. I don't know that. But what I'm saying is put it this way. My personal opinion is when I'm seeing things like this, I would ask you to ask yourself this question. And to be honest, the answer is fairly, I can see how 50-50 the answer is. Is this filling you with confidence or reservation? When you woke up and saw that Dan Ashworth was sacked, right? And now we know some of the reasons why. Okay, he wanted Southgate and stuff like that. So now we have a bit more context to why he got sacked. Yeah. Do you feel more confident in INEOS or less confident in INEOS at 9:36 Monday the 9th of December? Right now, that's going to be my next question. Actually, that's going to be my next question. Wow, look at this. Look at the poll. Am I overreacting? It's literally 50-50, guys. It's literally 50-50. This is incredible. This is really, really interesting. To be honest, I thought I was going crazy. I'm happy there's 50% who see where I'm coming from. Comparing INEOS to Woodward is overreacting, Flex. Sorry, it is, says Ronnie Dodge. When I make that comparison, I don't mean it. How I mean it is, if Woodward would have done this, what would the reaction have been? How would this have been? How would this have gone down? You know, if John Murtough was instrumental, or if Richard Arnold was instrumental, if these guys were still here, and they brought in Dan Ashworth and waited 5 months, right, to only less than 5 months later sack him, what would the reaction be? What would the reaction be? Because what I'm not saying they're as bad as him in total. I'm saying this level of incompetency in this decision is something that Woodward would have done. And if he did do it, Woodward would have kept him underperforming, kept down even if he wasn't performing, says Uncle. Fair point. Okay. Okay, fair point. Maybe you guys are seeing it like that. Do you see how Uncle sees it? That actually it's not what Woodward would have done, because Woodward would have kept them in situ because it kept the Glazers happy. That's a fair point. But I see it as also just another level of incompetency. There's incompetency in terms of keeping someone in post, you know, longer than they should. So I get that, Uncle. But I'm also calling out the incompetency of making that decision in the first place and thinking it was the right thing to do, because you're undoing you're basically saying that you're wrong. I mean, this is you're just like how we said Ruben Amorim, now this is his backing, this is his guys. Where's this energy now? Why are we not having this energy now? That's what I don't get. We said that when Ruben Amorim gets it, we were like, and all the football structure was here. What did we say as fans? We all said, right, that's it. This is INEOS time now. They've got everyone in place. They've got all the people they wanted to get. They've handpicked who they wanted. They've waited for the people that they had to wait. They've waited on different garden leave. They've paid compensation. They've done all these things now. Now it's time to judge them. Actually, yeah, hold on a minute. I forgot about this. Now it's time to judge them, we said. And I'm talking about Ruben Amorim was the last piece. Ruben Amorim was the last piece of the chess puzzle, the jigsaw puzzle. Yeah. Where we said, right, now it's time to look at INEOS. And 3 weeks later, they're sacking one of the main guys. Make that make sense. 3 or 4 weeks or a month, yeah, into us saying that, right, now they've got it. They've assembled everything they wanted to. There isn't, this guy hasn't got here yet. There isn't, oh, we're waiting for this, or there's a bit of a crossover. Oh, Dan Ashworth's got to wait for him, but Barada's coming in on July the 12th, so you've got to wait for that. Oh, the new manager's not really, Eric didn't really want him, this, that, and the other. Right, let's pay him off. Right, let's get Ruben Amorim in, young, attacking coach, you know, philosophy, good charmer, which all still exists, by the way, about Ruben Amorim. He's got nothing to do with this, but I'm just saying that this is where we stand. And we then said, this is all INEOS now. Lovely. This is perfect. Onwards and upwards. And then a few weeks later, they're getting rid of one of the big decisions. So what's next now then? What's next then? What happened? What? They go Jason Wilcox. Oh, actually, thought he was wicked, actually. But I'm going to get rid of him. And I know some of you can say, yes, if he shows he's not good enough, good. You keep going till you get the right one. But I'm sorry. It's different if it was after a year or, you know, a couple of years or something with some more, you know, the fact that they've made the wrong decision this quickly, that to me makes me feel less confident than I did before. Now you have to, that little bit of leeway I was giving you before, they've ate into that. They've eaten into a percentage of that confidence I've got in them. And that's just my personal opinion. I'm going to end this poll because am I overreacting? I just about won 51%. Let's end that poll there. But basically, it's 50-50, so I can see why everyone's like this. I want to do another poll. Yeah. Are you more or less confident in INEOS now? Now, maybe that's too too strong, but this is it. Big opinions today, guys. Are you more? I'm gonna put that in capitals. So yeah, more or less confident in INEOS after this? Question mark. Instead of yes or no, we'll go more, less. Actually, and we'll add in the same. We'll add in the same. That makes it fair. There you go. That's perfect. I don't think we can get fairer than that. Are you more or less confident in INEOS after this? More, less, or same? Start poll. And I'm going to kick off the voting with less. Can I even do that? I don't think I can. I can't vote on my own thing. But yeah, I feel like it's very interesting. Let me get back to the super chats here. Ray Carl says, big up Flex. Said Jim must take an L. Oh no, we've got to that one. Joe Fleming says, let's be real. Talking to 10 different managers while you've got somebody in post only to keep that person was absolutely shocking behavior, no doubt. There you go. There you go. And I tried to push back against that one, but the overall thing of it is they wanted to change him, didn't have the bollocks to do it, kept him, and then sacked him. So that put us behind another 3 or 4 months. Again, L. It's an L. Like, just call it what it is. Like, just, it's fine. You can make L's early on in your tenure, but I'm just saying they are L's. Let's not act like they're not L's. The only thing, WJ Barrett says, the only thing, Flex, is Ashworth was employed to make the decision. His decision was to keep Eric Ten Hag. Jim got it wrong by putting trust in his director of football. Yeah, true. It was his, yeah, I get that. That's true. He showed incompetence and they got rid of him. That bit, I'm not sitting here fighting for Dan Ashworth to be reinstated, by the way. I have to make that very, very clear. I'm not doing that. I don't feel as if, from what I'm seeing as the reasons why, I don't feel it was the wrong decision. You know, I don't feel it was the wrong decision to let Ashworth go. But I'm saying, because you did let Ashworth go, albeit for those reasons, the ultimate L is going to lie on the decision makers. You're in charge. If I make a decision on United View, yeah, and I say, oh, you know what? I don't know. Say I come and co-sign. Say I say, I can't even think. Say I earmarks somebody to come on this channel, a content creator, and I'm very, very public to all of you guys, going, guys, wait till this content creator A gets here or whatever. This new voice you're going to hear on United View. I'm telling you, they're unbelievable. They're okay. Let's just Stretford Paddock. Say I tried to get Jay Motti, right? Shout out Jay, to be permanently on United View, to leave there and come on United View, yeah. And I said, but I didn't do it on the sly. I'm doing big interviews, guys. I'm on the club with Rory, yeah. I'm on Big Six, yeah. I'm on DR. I'm on FCM, yeah. I'm on SDS, yeah. I'm on all the big podcasts going, yeah, I've got a massive trick up my sleeve, mate. We've got, I'm trying to get Jay Motti in here. I'm just talking to Stretford Paddock at the minute. But, you know, I spoke to Adam. He's been very silly with the negotiations. He's been very, very silly. You know, so we've got to wait for Jay. We've got to wait 5 months for him, this, that, and the other. But when he gets here, Jay's best in class. Can't wait. Can't wait. Yeah. Then Jay Motti, yeah, proceeds to come to United View, right? And then after less time than I was waiting for him to get here, I went, yeah, Jay, man, dead. Nah, I sacked him, mate. Sacked him. Now, yeah, I might have given reasons as to why. And shout out Jay. He's probably listening to this or going to see this and go, well, why is my name being brought into this? Just a hypothetical, bro, because you'd never get sacked. Your class. But say that happened, yeah? You lot are going to say to me, right, Flex, we got that one wrong. Got that one wrong, mate. All right. Do you know what I mean? So, and obviously, it's a much bigger operation with Man United at the same time, because obviously this is layman's terms in football fan content. Yeah, imagine I'm trying to have cost saving exercises on United View. I'm trying to save money. Now I've got to pay Jay off. I've got to pay someone else off who I thought should run the ship, but now they are making bad decisions. It's hurting us. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I don't know. So Ryan says, there's a lot of super chats here, actually. Oh my goodness. Wait there. Where was I? So Ryan says, of the things you are complaining about, which ones didn't you want done? Because you seem to counter your own arguments, hiding behind hindsight. No, what I'm saying is, you might have got to the right decisions, but you're supposed to be efficient in how you do it, and you're racking up a consistency of getting it wrong. So if I'm a fan / the consumer of a product, of a brand, of the club, right? We are fans, and you're supposed to be getting me on side. My question to you, to Ryan, is how does that give us more confidence when we're seeing them keep undoing wrong decisions? We just come off the back of wrong decision from Ed Woodward and all of those guys, and rightly so, they've moved, yeah. So early on in a tenure, when you're seeing these types of decisions that are internally hurting us financially because we're trying to, not be as bloated, how does that fill me with confidence? So yes, you can identify that Ashworth is not the right guy. Yes, you can identify that Eric Ten Hag is not the right guy. But also what we can identify, what it shows me as a fan, is that you're coming in here and you're not nailing your decisions. So that in turn doesn't make me feel confident with the next. So with the next, now that you've got the last two big decisions wrong, I'm not now confident you're going to go and get the third right. That's why I'm feeling like that. So it's not necessarily about the end equation. It's about how you got there and the perception that puts out. Also, I think they need to explain this. I think we need to hear from INEOS about this. For me, it's not good enough for me. So I don't know what you think, Sir Ryan. I get what you're saying, because you're basically saying that, well, in the end, you actually agree with their decision, so it's not really that bad. You're countering your own argument. But my thing is that I'm not campaigning for Dan Ashworth to be back or that. My thing is that why are people not calling out the incompetency that's been shown with these decisions? You've put all your eggs. You've put all your eggs into this basket of Dan Ashworth saying he's basically the second coming of Christ, and then a few months later you've realised he's shit. So what was your recruitment like then? What was your talent ID like? Now I'm supposed to trust that you're going to go and find the right guy again. Do you get where I'm coming from? It's almost like the scouts. If you start a chat record of recruiting shit players, we're going to look at you and say, mate, you brought in this guy, you brought in that guy. You signed Anthony. You signed this guy. You signed that guy. Do you know what I mean? Ray Carl Brown says, yes, Flex, bars this morning, mate. Big up to you, Ray. WJ Barrett says, it's a shit show. We look terrible. Time will tell. I do think we look terrible. We do need more time. But right now, I think we look like a laughing stock, personally. I think it's embarrassing. If I was a rival fan looking at this, not even just the trolling thing, not just the shit on. Listen, we do hate it or never ignored. I'm one of the biggest advocates of that. And if I feel people are just trying to rain on us for clicks and likes and just to breed negativity, then so be it. Mate, I in the summer was on Big Talk Sport saying, you lot are wrong. Don't tell us not to be happy about our summer, this, that, and the other. Defending us, live on Sky. Oh, they're telling us not to get excited about Joshua Zirkzee. He scored against Fulham. We will get excited, and I got humbled very, very quickly. So I will defend us. I'm not one of these United fans that just wants to shit on our club more to push us down. I just call the thing how I see it. And if I was not a Man United fan and I was looking at what's going on here with all the changes being done, but then look at the decisions being made, I would laugh. I would say that's more of a mess than it was before, if not the same, at the least. Hasn't kicked off to a great start under INEOS, is what I would say. I would say there's this guy who's come in all bullshit, giving loads of interviews and stuff, saying he's going to do this, saying he's going to do that. He's made some decisions that don't make sense. He's backtracking on his own decisions. He's sacking staff that he's hired, and it's not a great start. And then I'd say if I was a Man United fan, I'd be fuming with that. That's what I would say. So, yeah, I think it would be embarrassing. I in this moment, and it can change very quickly. If that's the piece that they needed to get the calm they needed, and then from here on out, it's good decision. Great. And that might happen, by the way. Might happen, no problem. But right now, on the 9th of December, I think it's embarrassing. Black Sheep says, this was inevitable with the Glazers and debt still here. But what it was going to be bad stuff to happen, fair enough. And Craig says, all the big decisions so far INEOS have got wrong. I don't think that's a I don't think that's a unfair comment, to be honest with you. I don't think that's an unfair comment, Craig. Again, like I think so Ryan said, yeah, but they got to the right decision in the end. Yeah, but to get to the right decision, they've also got all the big decisions wrong because they've had to undo them. Tabra says, I say bring back Ashworth to sack him again. Probably. Maybe he might do that, and then people will still say, oh, you know, still just learning. He's just learning. Scholes says, if Ashworth really wanted Southgate, Potter wanted and Eric Ten Hag to stay, etc., then good riddance. He was not best in class. Stay far away from English execs, please. Again, I get that bit. If he really did want those things, it shows that he wasn't very good. But why did you think he was then only 4 months ago? How did you not know that? You've done so much due diligence, or maybe you haven't, into getting Dan Ashworth, and you didn't see these things. Hayat says, not an overreaction, I don't think, as it's quite worrying. We really need a steady infrastructure for the future. Yeah, I agree with that, obviously. Boneheart says, INEOS are happy to look bad if it gets us to the top. City had unlimited funds to make that change. We don't. We aren't there anymore. Just hope it works. Well, we don't have unlimited funds, but we spent pretty much the same in the same amount of time, though, bro. So it's about how we spent the money. We spent over $1 billion since Sir Alex Ferguson left as well. And look what we have to show for it. No Premier Leagues, no Champions Leagues, a couple of League Cups, and a Europa League, and a couple of FA Cups. But nothing, no, level, at the top level. A couple of second place finishes. Chalaboy Comics for £1 billion. Chalaboy Comics says, the Sir Jim Ratcliffe Ashworth thing is just like if Barada came out next month and sacked Amorim because he doesn't think a back three suits us. It's incompetence. Exactly. It is incompetence, man. Like, you can learn from your incompetence. You can, correct your incompetence, but it is incompetence. It is. He co-signed this guy. He waited. He said Newcastle have been stupid not releasing him, guys. Come on, man. Come on. Matthew Lim says, Sir Jim making swift calls to find the right. Dan Ashworth was probably the best in class long ago, but lacked in synergy working with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Omar Barada, and Jason Wilcox and co. Ranić in. Get Ranić in. Imagine that. So this just exposed Man United fans never happy. Are never happy. This just exposed Man United fans are never happy. What, you think we're just moaning? What do you mean, Soleil? Do you mean as in we're just moaning for the sake of moaning then? Is that what you mean there? I'm not sure. Ellen says, what about the timing? Apparently he was sitting with family during the match, got sacked after the loss and got escorted out. Yeah. When you read the whole thing, which is just quite long, like quite a long piece. He did say he was at the game as normal. But he left through the tunnel underneath the nets of the bench, which used to be the old tunnel, which was weird. And his family was at the game as well. So yeah, I don't know. Ratcliffe told United we stand as well. This was, I think, a little while ago. Says, I don't make the decisions, but I like to feel comfortable that we're making the correct decisions. I do get involved in most of the big decisions, but ultimately so that I can understand the rationale behind them. In the same interview, Ratcliffe confessed to making mistakes at United. Our antenna wasn't perfect at United, and we've made 1 or 2 errors, but they're a lot better than they would have been. Than if we'd not done Nice and the same. There is a major change to come to achieve elite status. I get that. If you shy away from the difficult decisions, nothing much is going to change. The cost of hiring Ashworth, having his input on the summer spend reaching 200 million and dismissing him before Christmas can be put down as a major error, especially at the time when Ratcliffe has hiked the ticket prices in a bid to raise around 1.5 million for the rest of the campaign. Look, with Sir Jim Ratcliffe saying we have to make decisions, I get all that. I've got no You know, I understand that, but it still goes down as a big L for me. Boneheart says tough choices, yes. Wrong choices, too soon to tell. Okay, fair play, fair play. You guys are having your say. And in this latest poll, are you more or less confident in INEOS after this? 26% of you say more, 42% of you say less, and 32% of you say same. So it's fine margins. Well, a little actually on this one, there's a few more of you actually that's it's quite a solid less confident, to be fair. So most of you feeling how I feel, and a couple of percent I won the first poll by a couple of percent of am I overreacting, and most of you most of you said no. So it's very interesting, but it is very close. It is very close with what's going on, if I'm being honest. There was some quotes from Ahmad that I wanted to talk about, but actually it's not really that. It's not really that, because this weren't even about the loss or we haven't even dissected what the team is, and that is all about this. It's all about this. Also, there's some other quotes from this thing just to give you as well. Jason Wilcox has struck up a good rapport with Amarim. Interim director of football Christian Vivel and interim performance director Sam Erif could see their jobs become permanent. That's another thing. We've got some guys there who aren't even permanent, so maybe they get the promotion now as well. Where was those? Shall I do the Ahmad quotes? Where are they? Did we leave them? Oh, there you go. Ahmad has been saying, on Bruno Fernandes. I'm so happy to have Bruno as my teammate here. He speaks Italian, so we have a special bond. Ahmad on Ruben, he says, we try to follow the coach's philosophy. He speaks to the players. He was a footballer himself, so he understands our feelings, and we are happy to have him. He also said, I always try to repay the coach's trust. We have been on good terms since he arrived. He always tried to help me, especially because I'm playing a new role. And on playing that wing back position, it was interesting actually, because Ahmad said it's a position I already covered at Atlanta. At Atlanta. Oh, that's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? At Atalanta, under Gasperini. But it was more towards the middle. This wing back position is kind of new to me. I try to do it, and the coach is helping me. I am enjoying every moment. Yes, he is. Ahmad, he's doing his thing right now. That's for sure. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Louis Saha's talking about Pogba potentially come back to Man United, if you care about that. Louis Saha says, forget about the salary. I'm sure Paul is ready to find a compromise on that, as he wants to play football again after such a long time on the sidelines. When I think about Pogba, there are more positives with signing him than there are negatives, and I think he's a player that should interest Manchester United in January. All the top clubs in the Premier League should see signing Pogba on a free transfer as an amazing opportunity. That's how I see it. It's interesting there from Louis Saha. Don't necessarily agree, to be honest. Pogba's injuries, been out of the game a while. Can he not even play till March as well? So I'm sure that's the thing. Someone let me know in the chat. Not that I care loads, because I ain't trying to go back there. After dealing with this Dan Ashworth stuff, I ain't going back to Pogba and saying, can we sign you? I'm not on that. GJE says two things can be true. Dan maybe did something or made errors that INEOS felt he had to go, but it always shows that INEOS have made wrong decisions too. But it also shows that INEOS have made, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they both are true. I agree with that. Show says Flex hates Pogba, confirmed. I do not hate Pogba. So Ryan says, this stream misses Owen, so he could find a way to blame this on Rashford. United's high play player just sat at home while Ashworth lost his job. That's harsh. Owen doesn't blame everything on Rashford for him. So Ryan, I can't allow you to speak of Owen like that in his absence. He doesn't just do that. not that I see anyway. He does not. No, he doesn't do that. That's not Owen style. He doesn't do that. Guys, it's been a big show. A big show with a lot of opinion. I do want to say, smash a like on the video. If you haven't done so already, we should have really got a lot more than 484 actually, but it's been a big show and really didn't really get the chance. Let's end this poll right here. 42% of you, like I said, with you now feel less confident in INEOS than you, and then the 31% of you feel the same, and the 25% of you, quarter of you feel more confident, which I'm interested to see why. Well, to be fair, I know why, because you guys are saying it shows that they're ruthless and that if they've made a mistake, they own it straight away and move on. I see it the opposite. I see it the opposite. So really big show. Thanks for everyone for getting involved. Red carpet tonight. I'm sure this will continue. I can't wait to speak to Saeed. Actually, I think Alice did drop me a message. She's not going to be on the show today, which is a shame. Wanted to hear what she had to say. But yes, loads going on. And I'll see you guys then. I haven't been in a good mood. I do see both sides. I always see both sides. You know I do. So I get how they've come to that decision. And like Orcat says there, only time will tell whether this is the right decision to see how we kick on and how we improve. But one thing I didn't even get to speak about today is, like I say, how poor the squad is. And like I said, I'd only probably keep about 4 or 5. Like I said on the Trinity, only 4 or 5 can stay here if we're going to look like a serious team, because we have no physicality, not a lot of quality at all. We are miles off it, and INEOS need to start making sure they make correct decisions consistently now to back Ruben Amorim, because I didn't even talk about that. How does this make Ruben Amorim feel? You know, a few weeks in, he's lost one of the senior figures in the hierarchy, or he only knew him for a couple of days, so it ain't that deep. I'm not. That's a whole nother show. But it doesn't look good, is what I am saying. I'm out of here, guys. See you again later on the red carpet. I can't wait for that. I'm out of here. Peace.